Welcome back, FFR. That was a hilarious run we just had. Uh, Good times. I'm going to do a short version of the spiel since we are a little bit behind. The donations that are being sent in during this marathon will be benefiting the South Carolina Firefighters Burn Children's Fund, associated with the MUSC Children's Health Hospital, short for the Medical University of South Carolina. They intend to ease the recovery process for their pediatric burn patients and their families through supplies and training for the highest quality burn care, direct family support, and education. With me, we also have Llama and Wef Jebster.
Hello.
Hi.
Why don't you two tell us what's going on now? We got Timespinner.
Oh
What's
boy, do we have a lot
Yeah.
going on.
We have Timespinner glitches required race. This is going to be a little bit different than your standard glitches allowed race. What our runners have done is set it up via Archipelago to basically each of them have 2 seeds running through Archipelago, one of which is going to have all of their security key cards, their gas mask, their fire sources, anything that would be required in order to advance, but they can use a glitch to get past. All of that stuff is going to be in the other seed, so they're never going to get it. So that's going to require them to use glitches in order to actually beat the game. They've got a couple donation incentives that were met that are going to make this a little bit extra exciting. We'll probably be able to get to those as they come up. As people who have watched Timespinner, I know this community is very familiar with Timespinner, but people who have watched it in the past know that the beginning of this game can be very, very rapid fire. So it is thanks to all of you that they will be playing with unscaled boss randomizer, which means that if they see an end game boss that boss will not be scaled, it will have its end game stats, and they're going to have to fight through it regardless of the gear that they have found. And again, we'll get into more details as we get further into the run. But right now our racers are readied up.
And I'll be dropping the gate here so that they will be on their way in just a little bit. I'm very excited. For those of you who are not familiar with Timespinner, it's a lovely little Metroidvania, indie developed, and now there's a wonderful randomizer developed by the community and supported by the developer of the original game. Highly recommend, and we all love the Final Fantasy randomizer community because we've kind of adopted each other.
Yes. I have been pulled out of my hesitance to join that randomizer, and I'm having a great time with it. So it's a nice little matchup that's happened thanks to Archipelago. They start out with Orb, which is a pretty strong orb.
Especially with the technique of orb swapping, where if you go back and forth between your orb sets, it cuts out the cooldown on your little attack, and you can do even more of them.
Yep, resets all of your timers. We see Waffle Soup wisely stepped away from the training dummy before starting the Orb in order to not hit the torches behind the dummy and trigger a dialogue scene with her mother, who is very upset. So we have a quick check of the actual settings on Waffle's side just to make sure everything's going all right.
There was quite a few technical difficulties behind the scenes, so while we were a little late getting started, it was actually a teeny bit of a blessing to allow us some time to fix it.
Right. You'll see, as I said, this is an Archipelago seed, technically, that each of them are running. They are not running the same... They are running the same seed, but they are not playing 2 games. As seen before, the security keycard Aeon win phase side, and they both picked it up. The security keycard was sent to the other seed. It was not sent to the game that they are actively playing. They are not going to need that because the way that this is set up, since it is glitches required, one of the things that you really do need to perform these glitches is the succubus hairpin, which is your double jump, and we'll get into, as they start doing the glitches, we'll get into that shortly. The other part of this being an Archipelago game where they are sending items to the other game is that they're sending a lot of their consumables and their equips to the other game as well, because it's Archipelago, that other game has their equips in it. And so that game isn't being played, and thus those equips aren't being sent. So not only are they going to be, because of the donations, capped out at level 10, they're also going to be missing out on a lot of those things that help their stats out past that level 10 cap, which would be like their eternal coats and their empire crowns. They're just going to have to hope that those ended up local.
We saw Winfei on the right checking out the randomized drops from our random enemies. I'm not sure. I think she picked up something important and wanted to see who dropped it.
Right, yeah, I think the other part of that, the other side, I guess, of them not getting any of the equips from the other seed is that if they find a drop that they can grind for, if they find like that something is going to be dropping an Empire Crown, they are definitely going to want to grind for that.
Which Winfei did, or that princess dress?
Yeah, the princess dress would be what dropped it. So can be a little bit lucky here if you get... well, Shattered Orb's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
If you get lucky and you get a drop that is good for your stats, your attack stat mainly, then you might have a bit of an advantage over whoever you're racing against. But that's just the fun of Timespinner Randomizer.
Aha! I have secret intel from what we were talking about before. Part of the hash for the seed, we weren't sure what the image was. It's the sprite image.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll have to tell the runners when they get back, because we were looking at the hash for it, and both of them are like, what on earth is that? But now we know.
All right, so right now our runners are still waiting on their first access outside of the opening area. Well, this was flooded, that's why they could get out. So they didn't need double jump, but in Archipelago you have the opportunity to force certain items to early locations, and the Succubus Hairpin is forced to an early location. But that flooded first area means that they didn't get it as early as they probably could have, because that flood allowed them to get to this area of the game without double jump. You all can see the chaos that is coming up from enemy Rando. Okay, yeah, our first boss here.
Not the worst, especially having Eye Orb and Shattered Orb. Two orbs that are good for both phases of this boss. And luckily this is not too far along in the heroine's journey, so it shouldn't be too rough to deal with, but it will take a little bit.
Yeah, this boss is already sort of tanky as a two-phase boss specifically. So again, this is unscaled, so typically in the way most people play this game, this would be about 600 HP at the boot spot, or about 400 HP at the boot spot. And this is around, I want to say 2,000 because of the two-phase nature of it.
I'll check the wiki for you.
2,500 I'm hearing from Lily, so
I believe her.
I also believe her.
Let's see.
So yeah, we are getting a nice a friendly dose of unscaled bosses here.
The wiki says 2,000, but that might not include the first phase.
Yeah, it's probably 500 for the dolls, and then 2,000 for the actual.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's they sent the Pyro Ring to the other game. Pyro Ring being one of those progression items. Fire lets you burn those vines that are in the past to clear the way in the present. They are going to have to glitch their way around those vines because no fire will be present in their seed.
We might have lost Winfei. Hopefully she can make it back without too much trouble.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that it is just a connection issue, and
Yeah.
it's not a crash, because if it's a connection issue, then
Miss Input says it's connection issues, probably.
gotcha. So that's good. And there's their light wall. They find their own light wall in this early area, so that is their vertical movement and a key part of glitching through certain things.
Yes, the light wall being a solid object you can basically arbitrarily place anywhere you feel like it, which is great for clipping out of bounds.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get Winfei back here soon, but in the meantime we are...
there she is.
All right, cool. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot of separation between the two runners. There was a bit of a... probably a little bit of fiddling around. There's the succubus hairpin. The Waffle doing a little a little rage dance there. So that's good. They have their double jump and their light wall. That Oculus ring, that's yet another item that they're going to have to glitch around because they have the I Spy flag on.
Which the I Spy being a not commonly used flag because it causes a lot of backtracking, but the hidden walls are not breakable until you have that ring, and since they will not get that ring, they have to deal with that in a different way.
Yeah, and there are a couple of locations due to that are excluded because there are some hidden walls that are either very difficult and kind of random a little bit feeling to clip into, but there's also some you just can't clip into. So those locations are excluded in order for them to actually do this this I Spy flag with clipping through the breakable walls.
Buying some warp shards on Winfei's side. Those are your fast travel back to one of the previous warps you have touched.
And here's our first glitch right here.
Yep.
Just jumping right over the door, no big deal.
We got...
So what that is for the uninitiated is entering crouch state and then performing some same frame inputs of a backdash and an attack that cause Linnaeus, our protagonist here, to get stuck in the crouch state behind the scenes. Linnaeus doesn't look like she's crouching, but her bounding box, her hit box, is one of if she were crouching. So since in game you're not allowed to crouch and jump at the same time, if you're part of the crouch, if you are in the state of being crouched but you're jumping, then the collision of like the doors and the walls surrounding them,
all rules are suggestions at this point.
They're not expecting to be there, right? So you're able to actually use that little extra bit of verticality to jump up and around the doors. So that is why all of those doors or all of those key cards are inaccessible to them, and we're gonna see something very similar with these burned vines, just jumping right over them. And yeah, so Waffle is currently breaking logic to get to some of these treasure chests. Yes, as Lily said, there is actually some argument to use it outside of clipping through walls. You can actually, there are some bosses that you can move around while you're in crouch state in order to dodge some of their attacks, because it does give you a half-sized hitbox. So this is their first breakable wall skip. Yep, you see Waffle just jumping through the ceiling there and falling behind the breakable wall in order to gain access to that area.
Because the transport trigger is still behind the wall there. So if you can get to it, you can still go to the room.
Yep. All right, so Winfei going up and having got
fairly similar.
Yep, very similar routing here.
Up and over she goes, like it's nothing.
It's like they practiced. Yeah, but crouch state glitched is pretty key to a lot of these glitches. Changing Lunaeus's bounding box. And just like that, see, that's how I expected Waffle to do the clip behind that. It's a little bit closer to the actual wall. You can actually do it on your way down to get those chests. And Waffle, I had been watching some of her practices, and she had mentioned that she has to start getting into the habit of going through and clipping through first, and then going down to the next floor to grab those treasure chests. Winfei just went ahead and did it on the same level. Here we go. We are clipping over that security keycard D door. And
just breaking into secure areas.
Breaking and entering.
To be honest, this is a little more in character for Lunaeus.
Yeah. If Lunaeus could crouch state glitch, she could.
Yes.
She would. All right, so they have light wall. I would be interested if we're going to see any attempts at elevator clipping, but I'm not sure.
Pretty easy to get stuck in there.
Yeah. And looks like Winfei's heading into Zarian Caves.
Oh boy!
And takes an immediate 141 damage.
Oh god, the barrels!
Oh god! And Winfei's like, never mind.
That's an unfortunate enemy placement there.
Not a great enemy to put there when you're a little behind on gear and levels.
And apparently those barrels don't break down there, so yeah.
Yeah, they don't run into a wall, so they just kind of roll back and forth.
Not today, Satan.
Oh, here we go. We are going to get a. This'll be fun. See if Winfei can pull, or if Waffle can pull this off. Setting a light wall here. What she's trying to do is clip through those stairs. Everybody knows that slopes are Glitch's best friends. And if she pulls this off, the way that the game is coded is it will take the first entrance of the room that you're in. If you clip out of bounds and you're not in a place that you can get back in bounds, you can use the fact that it thinks the first entrance is the topmost one, clip out of bounds, and then what it will do is it will put you back in the room at entrance 1, which is way, 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 way up from where Waffle Soup currently is. There it is. So you're going to see...
And there you go.
Way up there.
I mean, that's how I use elevators. I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yeah.
Listen, anytime you make conditional physics, you're opening up your physics engines for exploitation.
Yep. So Waffle's going to be fighting this boss up here. And Winfei going for that same thing, getting it right away. That is very well done.
Uno. Oof.
That is not good. Yeah,
No.
Waffle's just going to exit out. I have a feeling Winfei is also going to do that.
Again,
that
not
is
today, Satan.
technically a final boss.
Yeah, not like the final boss, but real rough, especially without time stop. And yeah, that's a rough one.
All right, so now Waffle is going to do a more conventional. Oh my goodness! First try getting into the elevator.
Very nice. Oh, Winfei's trying.
Oh, wow.
She is brave.
Volturilis might one-shot Winfei here.
Yeah.
I'm not certain Winfei survives a single hit.
Oh no, that's a two-hitter.
Oh, it's a two-hitter? The Princess Dress.
Yeah.
Kind of killing it right
now. We are seeing the playing chicken with Volturilis on Winfei's side, where if he does the giant hammer attack, if you just stare him down, he'll miss.
Yep.
Oh god, 1 hit point.
Oh, you only need one. Oh, Winfei really counting on that Shadow Seal. Unfortunately, does not have one. That would be very, very helpful. Using that Radiant Orb swapping to her benefit. Oh, gosh.
I knew
just kind of... Oh, and there it is, using the light walls to stay out of harm's way there. She doesn't have any healing items. I think she used the Lakiemi Sun early.
Oh, that's cheaty. Oh, man.
Oh.
Good effort.
Yeah, I don't know if Winfei's going to go back and try this again.
She is
yeah,
not.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. You know what? Bravo for going
yes,
for it, though.
Yes. And surviving on 1 HP for quite a while.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Volturilis spawning back in from his teleport, and his hitbox came in just a little bit before actually being visible.
Yeah, and that is exactly it. Like, that is unscaled bosses for you. That is pretty much a final boss with final boss stats at a very, very early game.
Castle
there's their
Rampart.
past access.
Nice.
So that is a lot. They were kind of running out of places where they could be. So, yeah. Winfei's going to have to head back into the tower at some point to get that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna see another clip into our elevator here.
Yeah, this is a tougher clip than it looks. Like, Waffle got it first try, the first time she tried. This is not super easy to do.
She made it look easy,
and now, halfway
come on.
through the door. Now, if you try to ignore the existential horror of what it means to actually clip through a hard surface, this is very fun to watch.
Yes. Linnaeus will stop at nothing.
Winfei getting that clip, and there you go. Gonna be picking up that Time-Worn Warp Beacon to allow past access very shortly.
Oh, wow. Clipping into the elevator, quick!
Yeah, the clips, I guess you get into a rhythm, right? You get one, and then you kind of get a feel for what it's supposed to be, and that informs the rest of your attempts into it.
It's just, since atoms are mostly air, you just have to get really lucky.
Yeah.
Just all of your atoms.
Was it quantum tunneling is what it's called?
Yeah.
We did see Waffle just sent a Veletian crown to the other seed. Very unfortunate. Veletian crown would be kind of nice to have right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Past access for Waffle Soup. Heading into the castle ramparts, checking for floods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's the first Timespinner Gear 1. Those are guaranteed to be local items. Alongside their forced vertical movement. So that is something that they're not going to have to worry about the other seed having. The way that Archipelago allows this is awesome. Archipelago to me is... I just want to call something out. Winfei actually just entered Crowd Stage Glitch for like a second there to get under one of those vines. So that is another use of Crouch State Glitch to get around things.
That poor trapped engineer.
He deserves it. All right, so Winfei does have her past access. A very annoying vine there at the top of that hill for Waffle. All right, Winfei having a bit easier of a time jumping over that than Waffle did. That's a short little hop, so it's a lot tougher to... You just see Winfei hitting the wall a couple times because she saw what I saw, sending a Veletian crown to the other seed. That's something that they desperately want.
A little bit of silent rage.
Yeah. Waffle Waffle making her way through the castle ramparts here. Getting an aura up, which is very nice to have.
This is the chunkiest butterfly.
Yep. It's a butterfly with about 200 something HP.
You keep trying to kill the butterfly and it just grabs your hand and suplexes you.
All right.
And yes, we do highly recommend picking up this game.
Yep.
It is a wonderful little game. If you get it on Steam, then you get the Randomizer mod for free. And it is quite an easy randomizer to pick up. It has an in-game tracker, which is really nice. Not quite as useful for this showcase, but...
Yeah. Also, while you're in Steam getting Timespinner, maybe you could just wishlist Timespinner 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is a sequel in the works. There's a really lovely little trailer on YouTube if you search for it. Go on to Steam and you can see the trailer there too. And wishlist it.
All right, Winfei taking that warp shard and heading to the past.
Gorb!
Gun orb. Probably not going to get used. That's
No.
my guess.
Nah. It does have practically infinite range, but it has a minimum range, which is not great. And very small hitbox vertically.
All right, Waffle able to actually get this ceiling clip. You do need a light wall to do this because you have to get the first little bit of clip on your first jump and then double jump through the ceiling. And second try, not bad.
Every time I see Rishia, I remember Rishia mode.
Yeah. There is a mode where all of the enemies are replaced by that little doll girl that summons random enemies. They are not using that mode.
It is even more chaotic than this.
Yes. It is not to mention, it can make certain rooms in the game quite difficult to traverse as Rishia just starts spawning monsters that drop down on your head and you can do nothing really about it. Right now our runner's kind of hanging out really close to each other. I don't know if Waffle Soup did a couple extra things that Winfei didn't, but makes for a little bit of an interesting race here.
A little bit of clip difference as well. Because I know Winfei was getting some of the clips a little faster than Waffle.
Yeah, we do, on Waffle's side, have another clip coming up here that I think is really fun. I've done it myself just because I think it's that fun. I don't usually do clips and glitches, but I just think it's fun to do. We are going to see a bit of a water mask skip here. I think you can only do it in this chest. I think this is the only chest coming up that you can do it in the entire game.
I think so.
It's really fun to do, though.
Reading chat, I will say one thing is that I have been told by people who normally don't like playing Metroidvanias is they actually still like playing Timespinner. So just putting that out there into the world.
It is a grand game, really.
know,
Waffle, you need to maybe
Don't
consider not dying here.
Oh god.
I called out a clip you were about to do, and if you don't end up doing it, I'm going to be very disappointed. All right, here we go. This is really fun. What you're going to see is crouch state, hop into the water, clip through this, and you have just enough downward momentum to pick up that treasure chest. And almost die in the process. You have a berry pick-me-up. You should probably just use it.
And the Lakiemi Sun. Just
She still
eat
has
it.
that
Okay.
Lakiemi Sun. That is Timespinner Gear 3 that they're picking up here. So that is Gear 1 and Gear 3, I believe. Still need the wheel, the spindle, and Gear 2.
Winfei opting to take the free warp back to the NPC village. Waffle Soup possibly saving that for later when she might have the water mask.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair thing. I don't know if I think Waffle might be going for Moss Skip. That's I would say that it's probably because of Moskip here.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I thought it was first try.
That would have been cool.
Oh, and
second try.
No,
Come
not quite.
on.
So what Moskip is you use a light wall to clip through that little slope. There's a tiny little slope there you can clip into. And there it is.
There you go.
You get down through, and the Celestial Sash is right up. Wow. Okay.
So Moskip gets you down to this area that you have to have a lot to get to, and now you don't have to have all that stuff.
Yep. Water mask. Oh, and that's the mysterious warp beacon, which takes our runners to the end game. Waffle will start running out of oxygen here and start taking damage, but won't die, fortunately.
Mm-hmm. Now where are we going?
Okay, looks like
Winfei.
heading with that Celestial Sash heading to the towers.
Mm-hmm. Winfei checking her map, deciding where she wants to go.
A very flooded castle loop there. Can't even hit
Yep.
the save point.
Basement's a little flooded there. You might want to get that checked out before you sell the castle.
Or you could just get a cash offer with cash offer with no inspection in this market, honestly.
Honestly.
Maybe Waffle Soup forgetting that she has the Celestial Sash a little bit here.
Yeah. That does mean, unfortunately for Winfei, that Waffle Soup has, whenever she remembers, a way faster way to climb upwards.
Hey, there's the Teleria attachment for Winfei, though, so that's something.
Oh, there we go!
That's something that Waffle might just never get.
Yeah. As you can see, it makes Winfei much faster horizontally. So.
Yeah.
got...
in Gear 1 in the moat. I missed that when Waffle did it.
Yeah.
And the spindle. What? Hold on. So they're just missing Gear 2?
I think so.
I remember seeing Waffle Soup picking up Gear 1, but I couldn't remember where it was.
And the wheel?
No, yeah, they don't have the wheel. That's
they don't have the wheel.
So, and they have the mysterious warp beacon already. So technically, like, they're kind of like,
might be
really?
a little close
I don't
to
want to
the
say it.
end.
I was gonna say it, and I decided not to.
Don't jinx it, man.
No, I'm not.
Don't speak something into the world you can't really take care of.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so Waffle Soup heading over to fight the twins.
I am fascinated to see of the Celestial Sash versus Teleria attachment, which will gain our runners a bit more. Because light wall climbing, even with double jump, is quite a bit slower, but there's so much horizontal movement in this game that Teleria attachment is going to help Winfei a lot.
So we're seeing the other side of Boss Rando unscaled here, in that we have the Azure Queen at the twin spot, which is a lower level boss than you would typically fight here. So that is the flip side of it. Like, you could easily run into a final end game boss at an early spot, but the other side of that is you could run into a very early game boss at a late game area. So it'll be fun to see how this plays out as we run into more bosses.
Nope, the mode is the base is flooded.
Yeah.
Can't go save. Let's see. Azure Queen is, for hit points, is 1600. So 400 less than the Golden Idol's official number.
Yeah, and the key part of that is it's not just HP, it is actually their attack power as well. So it's just overall a safer fight.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, if you're playing Unscaled Boss Rando, you do kind of want to see the final boss. It might take a while, sure, because it is 6,666 HP, but it's kind of one of the more telegraphed bosses, and if you're experienced enough and you know what the tells are, you can easily do that. Ooh, water mask. You can easily do that fight completely damageless.
Mm-hmm.
So that water mask is an interesting find. It does put that moss skip sort of not as important, especially if the maw cave contain the wheel, for instance. Since we know where all 3 gears and the spindle are, they're basically looking for the wheel. So if the wheel is in maw caves, that might be advantage Winfei for not doing maw skip, because I think Waffle might fade the maw caves a little, having already clipped in there to get that stash. Although didn't actually beat them all, not necessarily required with the Enter Sandman Unchained Keys flags they have on. So it'll be interesting what we see in terms of routing here.
And they did pick up or at least I saw Waffle Soup pick up the beacon to the final area.
Yep. That is at the plasma crystal spot, I believe. At the nearby the maw fight itself. Just after the Celestial Sash. All right. Waffle.
Yep, that is a good thing to mention. Lily points out that there is a hidden floor chest in this area, and it's impossible to glitch into, so there's just nothing in there right now.
Great.
No, nothing important.
It's excluded, so it can't have progression. It's another one of those magical things that you can do. Oh, there's Azure Stoles in the shop, and a lab coat. Not buying a lab coat. Has the princess dress. Totally reasonable thing to do, but those Azure Stoles are huge. All right, let's see what the tower has. This power area, we'd mentioned that Winfei had that Teleria attachment, which allows her to dash horizontally. Right now, the vertical dash is something like being here. That vertical dash is certainly going to help in a more vertical-oriented area like the towers. Then it will help Winfei.
We have a question.
Speaking of,
we have a question in chat. This is a glitches required seed. Basically, they are never ever going to get anything that opens doors or anything in their seed. So they have to glitch through in order to make it through this.
Yeah.
seed.
Not only is it allowed, it is literally required in order to beat the
Oh god!
Yep, and here's that final boss that I was talking about earlier. We have a final boss.
Pretty telegraphed, but also if you get...
Oh!
Yeah!
Getting caught in an animation and not able to avoid the breath attack. That is unfortunate. And what? Waffle's just hinting for that final piece. And
Mind if I
that
queue
is
for a
in
moment?
Sealed
Caves. That's in Zarian
Dragon
Caves.
something. Yes, go ahead.
We just got a donation in from Timemost Cat for $80 saying, my first and favorite Metroidvania being run and commentated by some of my favorite folks deserves a bit of a donation.
Aw.
Thanks,
Thank
Time
you.
Most Cat.
I'm most cat.
If you want to put that towards a bid war, I believe it's just the Final Fantasy VI one. Let me go make sure of that. Yep, it's
Make
just
them do the
Final
opera.
Fantasy VI Worlds Collide.
You can make them do the opera.
You could, or you could save Civ, or not save Civ.
All right, Waffle Soup taking that water mask to the basement loop, having done a couple hints there, realizing
I just need those two things.
yeah, the Alana fight is not required. They in fact have access to everything they need, which I'm wondering because Gear 2, where was?
It was a little hard to read the text, but there it is.
Oh, okay. So Waffle finding Gear 2, that is why she ended up going here. And then I saw that the sealed cave mushroom jump had the wheel. So
And so that's where she's going.
Yep, Waffle Soup just going
Oh,
on in.
she doesn't know about the barrels.
She does not know about the barrels.
Okay. Oh god.
Oh,
Okay.
and getting able to scare the engineer.
Okay. I think having double jump really helps for that part.
Yeah, Waffle is in go mode. I guess we weren't very clear about that.
Mhm.
Waffle is in go mode. So she'll be grabbing. Actually, it's kind of fortunate. It's a bit of an early
Oh, God.
chest.
Oh,
Well,
God.
maybe she
Oh,
won't
God.
be
Void!
because she just died. Oh, it looks like Left's donation went to saving Sid.
Thank you, leftmost, timemost cat, for your donation. Oh, God.
Taking a lot of damage there. This is an endgame area, so very, very powerful enemies. And when they're randomized and you don't necessarily know what you're getting, then that is that can happen. You're not very well geared. You're not very well leveled. Winfei did grab that gear too. Did not hint for the wheel. Hinted for the Teleria attachment earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this
my
is
God.
Yeah, very low amounts. I didn't see any healing in
No.
the shop that they saw. So like
There
whatever
was
they've
not.
gotten. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying there was nothing to help him on HPs
Right.
anywhere.
So this Shiver Spring could do like 30 something damage, but fortunately you can just have it jump into spikes and die.
Sorry for my coughs.
That's okay. All right. Congratulations, Final Fantasy Randomizer community, for getting the 3,500 mark.
Congratulations, this is awesome.
The slime just doesn't die. All right, so here is the wheel. All right.
There we go.
Waffle was able to get that wheel and will warp. Probably hit the save point real quick since it's right here. Then warp.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Winfei has not decided to go where the wheel is, and so.
Well, she did, and then she died, and.
Yeah, which is fair. That since she doesn't know it's there, I would be like, nope, I'm not going there until I have to.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hints are another part of Archipelago where the runner's being able to hint for their go mode essentially helps accelerate things a little bit better. As we see Waffle trudging through the ancient pyramid.
Yeah, and so Winfei may be hoping to get enough points to hint for that one last piece.
Right. Why not? It's right there.
That is the name of that check. A lot of the chests have more fun names, like Omelet Chest, and why not? It's right there, chest. And just an egg.
All right. What enemies are going to be
just
here?
Just an egg.
Big, beefy eggs, though. Somewhere around 400, I think, HP.
Let's see. Those ones. 150, I think.
A lot.
HPs.
Yeah.
Two of the ones here have 250, and one of them has 150. I'm pretty sure.
This little experiment is going to. Oh no! The experiment immune to time stop.
Oh man.
All right, Winfei. Maybe. I don't know how many hints. What the hint point situation is here. Winfei not hinting for the wheel. Waffle giving it another go.
What else is Waffle gonna do? This is what she needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can't bank that you're gonna find better gear. You can't level up.
This is what she needs to do.
Yep. In terms of, I see a comment in chat of who else is excited for Timespinner 2 someday. It is, I don't know if you know this, announced. And there is a trailer, and it is wishlistable on Steam. And not to sound like an advertisement, but it's precisely what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Go wishlist it.
Yeah. I mean, the developer is a really cool guy, and you should support him, and it's not like he's my best friend or anything.
All right, well, Waffle's giving it another go. This experiment bullied her earlier, and facing off, gonna at least kill this this plant.
Oh, come on.
Getting sniped from downtown.
Oh,
the light wall strat.
Oh,
Aha!
Use your brain.
Okay, and one more little staircase here. Hopefully nothing rude. Just a couple chickens, a wyvern, and a cloud of ominous energy.
Don't time stop.
Don't time stop. That is an enemy that only activates when time is stopped, so...
Little worried about going through that one last room that might have an enemy that could kill you.
Waffle heading into the shop again. Maybe there's some aura restoration here.
Yeah. Get rid of those antidotes. Buy.
Oh, there
rolls.
was healing.
Yeah.
They're just very expensive. Okay,
And
so
royal casserole too.
yeah, unagi rolls will do.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Final boss time.
Who are we gonna have as our final two bosses? Of course, I always hope for final boots, especially if it's unscaled.
Yeah.
Then...
Final boots will give us a pretty easy boss fight. We had a call for Ravenlord final boss earlier. I think Winfei may have hinted, while I wasn't looking, for that wheel. Because she's currently making a beeline. All right.
Flooded. Great.
Flooded Sandman. So this is vanilla.
Vanilla, huh. Ice Spires is actually really good for this because he is weak and he doesn't move
Yep.
much. Little hard
yeah.
to dodge some of his attacks underwater, and there's spikes on the ceiling.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a challenge. Gonna go ahead and make sure crack an unagi roll while you're in there restoring your aura. Definitely making sure you have thorough use of time stop when you are presented with some of the ruder attack cycles, although it looks like we're getting the slam attack over and over again here, so...
Mm-hmm. Binfei has picked up her last piece and racing to the end.
Yeah, has that Teleria attachment, so is kind of zooming.
Second form of Sandman happening on Waffle's side.
Funny enough, Winfei never actually went past to get that Celestial Sash, I don't think. So she'll probably be happy to see that the big pit is flooded. I mean, she can do light wall skip.
Yeah.
But, it's still nice to see it.
This way there isn't a chance of nerves getting to you.
Yeah. All right. Underwater final bosses. Just always so adventurous. All right. Waffle getting really, really close to that hitbox, but just Winfei's setting up for the light wall skip and realizes he doesn't have to do it. Final boss is Ilana. Underwater? Is this?
This one's actually not too bad underwater.
Yeah, not too bad. The mobility when you're trying to dodge the lightning bolts might be a bit problematic, but if If you stay up in the corner, yeah, I don't think
she can occasionally hit you up there, but it's randomized how much that lightning will go. So
and yeah, already at the halfway point, so we're going to see an exclamation point here from Waffle very shortly.
Oh, I didn't know that. Lily points out that Waffle was ducking before casting Frozen Spires because it puts them closer together. I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah, the little thing bounces that creates the actual spires. It bounces more times because it starts lower to the ground. And there you go.
That's it for Miss Waffle Soup. Let's get exclamation points in chat.
Congrats to Waffle Soup.
Winfei
is right there.
We ask for exclamation points in chat because of this final text box from Lunaeus.
Winfei is on to the second phase of Sandman here. So, why is Winfei doing so much more damage?
Equipment, maybe?
Well, yeah, I guess, because the Frozen Spires on Waffle's side were doing 34, and Winfei's are doing 48. Oh, she picked up a lab coat? Well, the lab coat's not that much better than the Princess dress.
It's a little better, apparently.
Oh, did she find like a captain's cap or something?
Yeah, so I think she got a little bit more. Yeah, because that was way faster for Winfei. We had a very brief question. This game is a lovely little indie Metroidvania. We highly recommend looking it up, Timespinner. And also, if you get it on Steam, you get the Randomizer, which is a great randomizer.
And exclamation points for Winfei.
Yes, double exclamation points.
All right. That awesome. Was an excellent race. Very, very close.
Mm-hmm. Official times over on Race Time GG, we have Waffle Soup with her runtime of 47 minutes and 19 seconds. And then right behind, 48 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, very close race.
Very close.
The Teleria attachment almost did Teleria attachment things and put Winfei right back into it.
Yeah, very close. Very, very fun race, and fun to see them showing off how good they are at breaking this game.
Yep. All right. We will see if we can pull Waffle Soup into the actual broadcast room, and Winfei, I'm sure, will follow shortly after.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very close race at the end there.
Yeah, looks like.
Incredibly close race. It was very entertaining. The difference really was almost caught up. Winfei also has joined us. GG's Winfei.
Very close. Very close.
Yeah. The Teleria attachment versus Celestial Sash battle was on full display.
Okay.
So I forgot which room Batcave was, and I did not know that the map showed you which room you hinted at. And so I could have gotten that Teleria like 5 minutes earlier.
Oh wow!
Because I hinted for it, and it was in that middle room, and I was like, oh, I think it's at Batcave. Maybe it's in the place to the right here, the hidden room. I was like, oh, it's not there. Maybe it's on the other side, in that little cave right before Lake Serene, and it was not.
Yeah.
And so I just made a perfect loop around it because I went down instead of just going across a waterfall. So I'm really sad that I did that, but that was a fun one.
Very, very good race. I think the highlight of the race was both of you doing the absolutely wonderful clip in the tower to get up to fight Varney. And
yes.
Winfei actually made a decent effort at actually doing that fight.
It was pretty good. Volturilus.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
Volturilus.
Yeah, I immediately noped out.
I got him to at least desperation.
Yeah, you did good, and you were at 1 HP for quite a while, dancing along that edge there.
Yeah.
And it was. I knew you were safe in the center when he did the hammer attack, but when you had 1 HP, there was a little bit of me that's like, but what if it doesn't work?
I felt like I was really close at that fight, but
you were, and then but we agreed after all that, it's like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to do that again. I don't know what's up there. It's probably nothing.
And as we know, it wasn't.
You
Anything
both
you
had
needed.
great streaks of light wall clips there. It was actually awesome. A lot of first tries, and it was really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I hit a really good stride, like right at the start for getting all the like ceiling clips. I was like, I'm doing like this is first try for like half of them. This is
Both of you
really
were
good.
showcasing quite the amount of skill. Waffle Soup got the Celestial Sash, though, by doing the Maw Skip into the elevator shaft, and that's where it was.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, this is a glitch showcase. Let's show this off.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
show them
down here.
glitches!
And let's
I
hope
could've-
it's not flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely forgot about doing that skip, which is funny because it's one of my favorites. That would have saved some time too, huh?
Yep. But it did allow for a fascinating discussion on Talaria attachment versus Celestial Sash. Which one's going to win out in the end?
Mm-hmm.
But since Waffle Soup did not hint for Talaria, she was able to hint for the wheel earlier, and that's really where the divergence happened. But as Wef mentioned, Talaria managed to allow Winfei to catch up pretty quickly. The Numies are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out going fast is good in a race.
Who would have thought?
I just feel like I got so lucky with my routing, too. Like,
Ilana's was stacked.
yeah, and like
so
I
much in it.
turned around and I did all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Glad to know I was not very far behind. Like a minute and a half.
Yeah, not bad at all.
I mean, in this randomizer, a minute and a half is nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's basically a tie at that point. It's just like one small decision, like hinting for the Solaria, which still almost won you. It still almost won you the seed there. That was a very, very entertaining watch.
Yeah, honestly, if I had like gotten that and immediately was just like, let's do mock caves backward, I probably could have gotten
Mm-hmm. Poor
10 minutes off.
Waffle Soup got bullied by an experiment in the pyramid
Yup.
and
Ah.
died.
Actually, really funny, like almost Three Stooges-esque.
And Winfei went down to Zarian Cave early and got bullied by the engineer throwing barrels at her, Donkey Kong style, and then just died. And then, nope, I'm not going in there. Not again.
They do so much damage all the time,
Yeah.
and down there, it's just like, oh, I'm just screwed.
In that one little area, the barrels don't break, so they just kept going back and
Yeah.
forth, and just...
I was like, I just gotta Mario up them, or Mario above them, and I should be fine. And then it was like, oh no.
Nope,
No.
you were not fine.
I was so nervous at the start when Lake Desolation was flooded, because if that first boss was anything bad, that could have been real
Yeah.
rough.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been there. It's
Mhm.
not fun.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
it was,
you had some good orbs for that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Having
this...
high and shattered was very helpful.
hmm There's a lot of these runs that I've done where you don't get anything besides that first orb for a while, and if it's like, I had one with Wind Orb, which I personally love, but doing 2 damage against anything early game, and against something like Twins, you're just like, oh, this is bad.
This is my life now.
Yeah. Especially because the idol would make it 1 damage probably because it resists.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I
It's
hope you
bad.
like ones. This is wonderful to watch and commentate. Any final comments from our runners here?
I agree. This was a lot of fun. If you're curious at all, check out Timespinner. It has an awesome community, an awesome randomizer. Glitches are not required.
Normally.
And wishlist Timespinner 2 on Steam.
Wishlist Timespinner 2.
Yeah,
Yes,
they've,
Timespinner too.
they've heard that from me and Wes the entire time.
I look
Yeah.
forward to the next marathon when Timespinner 2 has a randomizer and everyone can play.
Bodhi is fast working on it. He's doing his best.
Yeah. Dev streams every other Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
on twitch.tv/LunarRayGames. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's good hangs.
Good communities. Thank you to the Final Fantasy Randomizer group for having us. I mentioned early on in the stream we've adopted each other. Just kind of melding our little communities together is very fun.
Thank
Thank you for coming on.
I think we're
And
all
the best news here is that because this seed was so breezy, we kind of caught up on our schedule here. So I'll come up with the correct word. The marathon.
The thing.
The next run is Mario 3 Rando, which is a blast, and that's going to be at 8:30.
Perfect.
Which we're just going to start early, and they get extra time. So.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right.
Well, we're going to let you get to it then.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and we hope you come back for next marathon.
All right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
All right.
See y'all later.
We're just going to take a quick break and get set up for the next one, and then we will all be back.